Michael Harris has the game of the year coming a single short of the cycle. But the Braves get walked off 6-5 by the Rangers in extras. Let's talk about it.
This is the Braves Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Atlanta Braves. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into the Braves Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Atlanta, where we cover your Atlanta sports teams each and every day. I'm your host, Lindsay Crosby, author of the Braves Today newsletter over at bravestoday.com. You can follow me on social media at Crosby Baseball. That fellow over there is Jake Mastroianni, host of Locked On Braves. Follow him on social media at shortstopball. Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Braves wherever you get your podcasts. Jake has had a ton of trade deadline content, a mailbag on Friday, everything, tons of great stuff. Okay, so this one was up for grabs a lot longer than I thought it was going to be after the Rangers scored 4 runs in the first 2 innings, right? This was something where Atlanta scores late. They score in the 6th. They score in the 9th to tie it up. And the Rangers then score in the 9th to send it to extras, and they get the walk-off in the 10th. Do you want to start with the good or the bad, Jake? Do we want to start on a high note, or do we want to end on a high note?
Oh, let's start on a high note. People might tune out at the end, and they might miss the good stuff. So
got it. All right. Well, hang on. If we promise that we'll rant in the second segment, maybe they'll stick around for that. All right. Michael Harris in this game. There was a comment in the chat. Somebody said, you can't talk about Michael Harris having turned it around. It's been 2 games. Since the All-Star break, Michael Harris is batting .400. He's 12 of 30 with 6 extra base hits and 1175 OPS. And the biggest thing, only 4 strikeouts in 8 games. He goes 4 for 4 tonight. Where was that here? I had that here for a second. Yeah, 4 for 4, 3 runs, 2 RBI. He has a solo shot in the 6th. He has 2 triples. We'll talk about that in a second. And a double. The last at bat, he comes up looking for a single. And it's a diving, sliding catch attempt by Wyatt Langford in left field. They ruled it. They took a minute to give an official ruling. The official scorer for the ballpark ruled that a triple. But that should have been, like, if you're being impartial, that should have been a single and a 2-base error, right?
it's one of those things with outfielders, and I guess it goes the same for infielders too. Like, if you don't touch the ball, then they can't call it an error. And I haven't looked close enough to see if Wyatt Langford touched the ball on that, but that's generally the rule, is that if they don't make any contact with the ball, there can't be an error. But you see that all the time, and it's actually error. Like, anybody watching the game says that's an error. It's a misplay. Yeah. Him, at least, I know he didn't catch the ball, but you got to at least keep that in front of you. So I wanted him to get the cycle. So I definitely was pushing for the single and 2-base error there. But either way, great stuff by Michael Harris.
Yeah, and to me, it was the quality of the at-bats just looked to be really good. He was really, like, while you're watching this game, he was just really confident in the box. That first inning, that first at-bat, the triple that he hits to center, he gets 2 fastballs on the outer third. He takes the first one. It's like, it's dotted on the black, right? The second one, Kumar Rocker tries to go to that same spot, leaves it a little bit more over the plate, and he gets a really good swing on it, 108 miles an hour. It's just, like, I know that this has been now 8 games that he's produced since the All-Star break, and he changed his stance up in the A's series, so it's been like 11 or whatever, 13 games that he's been doing it. But the quality of the at-bats is just so much better, almost consistently, like every single time. It's been a minute since he had that terribly atrocious at-bat.
Yeah, and it's like we talked about last night. It'd be different if he's just having some good results, but he hadn't really changed anything. I wouldn't be bought in as much over a small sample size, because it is just still a small sample size. And even the worst players, we talked about last night, even the worst teams, sometimes they get on a winning streak, except for this Braves team.
Except for this one.
But sometimes even the worst hitters, they can have a good week or two. So you don't want to get too caught up in that. But it's the fact that these results are also coming with some mechanical changes and what seemed to appear to be some better plate discipline. I'm not even quite as bought into the plate discipline just yet. I need to see more and more of that. But the swing itself seems to be there with the mechanical changes. I mean, you look at the swings tonight, and I know you got the results on them, but it's a 107.9 mile per hour exit velo, 109.2, 108.6, and 88.1. I know the 88.1 is low, but and not, people don't like just hearing straight exit velocity numbers, but you pair that with the launch angles, 19 degrees, 16 degrees, 24 degrees, 19 degrees. Those are all ideal launch angles. Like you can hit a ball 88.1 miles per hour if it's at a 19-degree launch angle, because it's going to be a line drive. And it's just the type and quality of contact that he's getting right now is very, very encouraging. And you hit on exactly what I saw too in that first at bat, that he was getting dotted away with fastballs. And instead of trying to pull that, and what we see him do a lot of the times, just roll that over to second base for an easy out. He the other way. I think every ball he hit tonight was to left center or to left field. So
I think so.
Just very impressive stuff for Michael Harris. It's a loss. We're certainly not happy about it.
Right.
But we talked about last night. We're looking for silver lining for the future of this team. And Michael Harris is a big part of the future of this team, or at least maybe what plays out in the last couple of months may determine that, if he is still a big part of the future for this team. But for him to be able to get it right, definitely would go a long way.
Yeah, and shout out to Kamar Rocker. I don't know why that second at bat, the one where he had the ground rule double to left center, Rocker throws him 6 pitches. All 6 are in the zone. Like, you don't have to throw everything in the zone to Michael Harris. You can throw him balls. But again, he does his part. He's able to go out there and he's able to take care of it. The homer off of John Gray, fantastic job. He takes a ball low just off the bottom of the zone. I mean, that could have been a strike from a lot of umpires. Takes the slider away, gets the slider in the zone and pops it. Just fantastic at-bats. Flip side of this, a guy who did not have fantastic at-bats, Marcell Ozuna, was back in the lineup tonight. And he goes 0 for 4. He's got 2 strikeouts in this one. And it's almost, and I don't remember who made the joke. It may have been you. It may have been somebody else on social media. It's almost like he's trying to tank any possible trade value so that he can stay with the team, because it was just awful at bats from Marcell Ozuna. His average is down to 232 now. And since June started, he's batting 159 with 17 walks and 38 strikeouts. I just don't know. At this point, it doesn't make sense almost to just even play him in matchups where you think you like him like this.
In his defense, he hasn't been playing a lot lately. And so that's kind of part of just be kind of stuck in there once or twice a week and then expected to perform. But yeah, it's not great. I mean, it hasn't been great for a while now either. That's why he's not playing, because he hasn't been good. So,
I mean, when he was playing every day, he still wasn't good. So it's not like,
I mean, it's a tough sell. Braves might not make any moves at the deadline, because I don't know that they're going to have anybody worth buying. I mean, with Ozuna and Iglesias,
we're getting to Iglesias.
I don't know that there's anybody worth buying. So I'll defend he and Riley a little bit in the fact that Ozuna hasn't played a lot lately, and Riley 2 games back, but he was dreadful tonight as well. And really was the night before too. And then just kind of, I thought we were going to be positive in the first segment, but I'm being negative here. Acuna as well. Look, over 5 night. I know he just missed a couple. Like, he had 2 balls that would have been gone at other parks. One was gone in over half the parks, another one gone in 4 parks. So, I mean, he was just close on those last couple of swings, but he's a little off right now. We talked about it last night. At least no strikeouts tonight. So maybe that's an improvement, but he is a little off his game right now for whatever reason. But again, hopefully tonight, him just missing a couple, that he's close to getting on track. But you can't have your superstar in a close game like this go 0 for 5 like that for Ronald. So he definitely has to share some of the blame along with Riley and Ozuna, because outside of those 2, I mean, everybody else kind of contributed in some way in this game, outside of Nick Allen, which nobody really expects much from him at the plate. But, everybody else at least did something. But those 3 guys in particular, Acuna, Riley, and Ozuna, were quite dreadful in this one.
Yeah, and Riley was the one, 4 strikeouts tonight. Like, everybody kind of misses that because he did draw a walk in there, but he does go 0 for 4 with 4 strikeouts in his 5 at-bats. So a little bit of a kind of frustrating thing there. All right, in just a second, let's talk about the pitching. Grant Holmes, Raisel Iglesias, obviously, how amazing the bullpen was until you got to that point. We'll do all that next right here on the Braves Postcast. My mom went to tonight's game in Arlington. She lives in Dallas and kind of spontaneously this afternoon said, I should go watch the Braves play. So she called me and said, what's the best way to get tickets? And I told her, Mom, download the Game Time app. You see, the coolest thing about the Game Time app is the prices get lower the closer you get to the game. They've got fantastic last-minute deals. They show you your view from your seat before you buy, and you get a lowest price guarantee to take the worry out of buying. So my mom grabbed one of her friends. They got on there. They bought tickets. They were in Globe Life Field tonight for this Braves game. So if you want to do something like that, just spontaneously go to a baseball game, take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right, very frustrating outing for Grant Holmes tonight. 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, only 2 walks, only 2 strikeouts. The only 2 walks is kind of an improvement. He's been one of the leaders in the National League in issuing walks. But when you look at this tonight, I'm starting to be concerned about the Grant Holmes fastball, right? It just feels like he doesn't, guys don't really miss it. He had 1 whiff tonight on it. They only swung 7 times, but only 1 whiff. He only got 2 called strikes on it, and he just couldn't consistently throw it in the zone. And it feels like he, of all people, the cutter could be this, but he needs a pitch that he can base that slider off of and something he can throw in the zone. And I feel like some of his struggles tonight were he wasn't getting as many chases on the slider as usual, simply because he had to throw it in the zone probably more than he wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. We talk about it too with Strider, like as great as his slider is, and Grant Holmes is really good too. Mm-hmm. We saw the last time Strider was out when he didn't have that fastball, then it makes it a little bit easier to get after him. So you got to, as good as a secondary pitch as you can have, you got to have something to set it up with, or these are big league hitters and they're smart enough, to just spit on it and wait on something in the zone there. I also worry too about just Grant Holmes, and I know, we talked about his innings limit a lot, and I think he can get up to 150, but you do just wonder at what point does he start to tire down a little bit. I think we've seen enough from Grant Holmes at this point to know that he can be a very good and serviceable starting pitcher. Yeah. But you just do wonder at some point this season, I wouldn't be surprised if we see him just kind of slow down a little bit. I also think too, hitting Semien in the head, you could just tell visibly that really messed him up and kind of took him out there for that inning for a little bit. I mean, good job by him to at least bounce back. And I think he pitched 1 more inning after that, maybe. But that's you always obviously think about the person who got hit, and that's very scary, and hope that Semien's okay. But the person that hits him too, I mean, that is a mental hurdle to get over. I think 1 or 2 pitches after that, he sent one to the backstop. It was clearly on his mind too after that happened. So just not a great night, obviously, for him. And he's one of your 2 starters right now that you're really hoping can go out there and give you 5 or 6 innings and kind of prevent Snit from having to use this bullpen too much. But just unfortunately is the case every night now. I mean, you're just lucky if you're getting 5 innings out of your starter.
Yeah. And it kind of does expose the pain a little bit, as well as all of these 1-run games. There was a question in the chat. Braves are now 13-25 in 1-run games. And this one, I think the most frustrating part about this one is your bullpen was absolutely locked down until the 9th inning. Dane Dunning gives you 2 innings. Dylan Lee gives you an inning. Good. Pierce Johnson gives you an inning. You have 4 innings from those 3 guys. And to your point, Dunning looked fantastic. I've always been a fan of Dane Dunning. Was happy that he did this. No hits, no walks, no base runners. They get 7 strikeouts. Raisel Iglesias comes in, picks up his 5th blown save, and then De Los Santos. I'm not blaming De Los Santos for that. The intentional walk, that makes sense to do. 1 base hit and it's over. I'm blaming Raisel Iglesias more than Enyel De Los Santos To the point you made earlier, it's almost like they're trying to tank their trade value. We may not do much at the deadline. But there's no other real, like, it wasn't the slider this time. It was just Iglesias not having it. And I don't think at this point, you can't leave him in the ninth inning. I mean, even if you don't from now to the trade deadline, you can't leave him in the ninth inning.
I mean, I think you can until we're talking about next weekend anyway, because like at this point, what does it really matter winning games? I mean, I'm sorry for those who still have some hope out there. I don't want to rip it away from you, but what does it really matter? I think your best chance is to give him another couple. Hopefully you get another chances for him to get some saves, and hopefully his trade value gets up to some point. I don't know that's going to make any difference at this point either, but it's the same thing we've been talking about all year too. Like who else do you go to? I mean, you can put Dylan Lee back in there. He's had a pretty rough July. Maybe you get Pierce Johnson. He's gotten some closing opportunities. Maybe you put him in there. But you do that, and then somebody's got to pitch the 7th, or somebody has to pitch the 8th. So I don't know who that's going to be.
Timeout. Breaking news real quick from David O'Brien of The Athletic. Snitker says Braves' Grant Holmes had elbow tightness and will go on the injured list to get checked out. So Grant Holmes is going to the injured list. Shout out to Colin in our chat for throwing that out there where I could go verify it real quick. So, Grant Holmes going to the injured list. We have to hope that's obviously not anything severe. We also, to your point of the Indians, sorry to cut you off there. To your point of the Indians, we have to hope it's not something because of a workload. You would hate for something like that to happen in a lost season, right? So that is, if you're keeping score at home, that is all 5 of Atlanta's opening day starters on the injured list after tonight. So it absolutely makes sense if you think about, like, hey, the Braves aren't going to come back this year. That's literally all 5 opening day starters now unavailable. It's Spencer Strider and pray for Raid at this point. Yeah,
I mean, and look, you can look back at this season and you're going to say, oh, well, they lost because they had so many injured pitchers. This team was done before that.
Yeah.
Like maybe if you still had Sale and Schwellenbach and all those guys, maybe you would still have some hope in the second half because the offense has been a little bit better.
It'd be like last year.
But with those guys out, there's just no chance. And I hope it is nothing major for Grant Holmes, and it is just kind of what I talked about earlier, and the fact that, hey, he's not feeling well. We were going to limit his innings anyway. Let's just put him on the IL. This season's done. There's no reason to really push him. I hope that's what it is, because also, like I said earlier, I think he's proven that he deserves a spot in this rotation and that he can be a big league starter. So hopefully nothing major there for Grant Holmes.
Yeah, and that's something. It's going to be Spencer Strider. Bryce Elder's your number 2 right now. It worked in the first half of 2023. Hasn't worked since then. So
J.R. Ritchie pitched good tonight in AAA. Waldrop's been better. I mean,
I was about to say
some guys.
Waldrop threw a bullpen last night instead of starting. He was probably going to end up being your guy on Monday in Kansas City. The question is going to be who else is going to fly from Gwinnett to Kansas City to meet the team there. It feels like you might have a couple guys. And now I think the thing I'm most sad about, and this is just to try to have a little bit of levity here, is you don't get Grant Holmes for the Bristol game, because it felt like Grant Holmes was made for that uniform, for that hat, in that baseball field. So sad that he's not going to be there. But yeah, so 6-5 loss by the Braves to the Texas Rangers in 10 innings, and then to turn around and insult to injury there, you lose Grant Holmes going to the injured list. Series finale tomorrow. I thought I had that tab here, and I do not. Scheduled for 2:35 p.m. Eastern. Again, they're in Central Time. Bryce Elder versus Jack Leiter. Braves have to hope to not get swept here. We'll see what happens. But Jake and I will be back with another postcast to recap that. And then do us a favor. Make sure you're subscribed to both Locked On Braves and Locked On Sports Atlanta, so you get that notification about that. Jake's going to have tons of content coming up this week to the trade deadline, what Atlanta does for starting pitchers, which prospects are coming up, and things like that. And if you're listening on audio, do us a solid. Leave a 5-star review. Words of affirmation. I don't want to speak for Jake. That's my love language. That would be awesome if you would do that as well. Until next time, for Jake Mastroianni, I'm Lindsay Crosby. This has been the Braves Postcast.